Rogan Report Podcast. Check it out.
All things Joe Rogan by day. Rogan Report Podcast by night. All day. All night. Half hour to an hour-ish episodes once a week.
The Rogan Report Podcast.
All right, Shane, welcome to your living room.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah, we moved spots. Almost weren't able to go here. Had some technical troubles, but we got it sorted.
Yeah.
Let's go through the table of contents. We are going to talk about, right off the topic, Kenny's accidental on-purpose sexism and shifting low oil price blame to potentially the COVID-19 virus, which is funny. Also, of course, COVID-19 again, the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
And then some Rogan reporting on 1436, Adam Curry, 1437, Stephen Dubner, and 1439 just came out today, Michael Osterholm, which we both just listened to today and scared the shit. Made me feel sick listening to it. I was like,
Definitely did make me feel better. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yikes. And then, of course, we've also got the UFC 248 results. Thanks for procuring that.
Gotcha.
I got a Joe joke that I found. It's a hunting joke. Spoilers.
Nice.
And I've got a St. Paddy's Day show coming up that I'm going to try to promote.
Oh, tremendous.
And we'll see if we get this out before St. Paddy's Day. Maybe we will.
Nice. I've got a show coming up, too. I mentioned it before, but now I can say its name. It is the YAG Spring Art Sale.
Yeah, and you're in.
I'm in it. It's April 12th. It's $60 a ticket, and you get cheese and wine with that.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to buy my art and
Nice.
other artists' art.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
My show is free to go to, no cover.
better deal.
But we're playing. It's at the Cabin, which is formerly the Urban Tavern, which is where we've played at the Urban Tavern the last couple of years in a row. But it's no longer the Urban Tavern on Jasper Avenue. It's now called the Cabin.
It's
Really? It's just opening up.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. It might be the first day. I don't know if it's open right now.
I saw it last week called the Urban Tavern still.
No, it's new.
That's crazy.
It's called the Cabin, and we're going to be playing there in the afternoon. This year, St. Paddy's Day is on a Tuesday. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of crowds we draw in the afternoon on a Tuesday, because last year it was like a Sunday, and it was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Sorry, what time is it?
Like 2 p.m.
Oh,
we play.
Shit, I might be able to come in the middle of my workday.
Yeah,
I deliver downtown all the time.
I hope people do come in the middle of their work days, have a quick beer.
Yeah.
I would think maybe some people, the diehards for St. Paddy's Day, they might be into like taking the afternoon off and like going and starting and the afternoon of St. Paddy's Day and the next day.
Getting her twisted off, right? That's a good show there.
But I imagine a lot of people will just go out after work.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably
That's the more logical thing. Yeah. You're pretty hardcore if you're taking the afternoon off to get fucked up early.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So let's get into right off the topic. So Jason Kenney, still an asshat.
Yeah, and getting worse.
Seemingly pretty bad, kind of Trumpian in his speeches. He was addressing the crowd on International Women's Day. I'd like to play the clip of that.
Sure.
We as conservatives, we believe in equality of opportunity, not contrived equality of outcome. And we don't do quotas and set-asides. Most the conservative women I know believe those things are kind of insulting and that people can and should win their nominations on their own merits. And however, I do recognize that very typically women candidates for nominations are running for the first time and often running against guys who have been in politics for years or decades and have a network and understand tactical politics a little bit better than women who have been doing usually more useful things like professions and running businesses and helping with families and so there's a skill, there's often a advantage that some of the male candidates have. We try to address that by encouraging like-minded women to set up a group called She Leads, which has been led by Ronna Ambrose, and which provided training and other practical support to new women candidates. So with 38% of our new candidates being women, I think that's a huge progress, and we'll continue in that direction.
Okay. Had you heard that whole clip before?
I haven't, no.
What do you think there? Some things he's saying that I tend to agree with. You know, I don't agree with equality of outcome. I agree with equality of opportunity.
Yeah.
Definitely, it seemed to me like he realized he was saying some things that weren't going to translate well as he was saying them, and then sort of tried to back out of it.
It was subtly sexist.
Yeah, for sure.
Deeply sexist.
Yeah.
Subtly.
And some stuff that, do you think that he knew it was sexist, but he thought that it would hit well with his base? Or do you think that he was kind of accidentally saying things that were sexist because he's just a sexist pig?
Yeah. That's what I would go with. He's accidentally a sexist
He
pig.
didn't mean to sound sexist, and that's why it sounded like he was trying to kind of back out of it.
He's trying to paint this rosy painting on top of,
Right.
his clear Albertan fucking old boy view.
I don't know the statistics about women in politics and how many of them have been in it since the beginning, since they're, and obviously we do have more men in politics than we do women.
Yeah.
That is 100% for sure. So maybe men do incur some advantages from experience. Do you think that, or maybe just from kind of naturally from being a man?
Sure. But I'd rather hear the experienced candidates are more experienced than these inexperienced candidates.
Yeah.
I don't think the men and women label is really necessary. They don't need a group.
There are
just let them be part of the regular group.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
There are certainly men who are also have had other careers and then just start politics.
And but even the things he suggested that women have been doing, while not being, it's just
you almost expect him to say cooking meals and taking care of babies.
Why are you speaking on what women have been doing while you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
What do you? Yeah.
That was pretty bad, and obviously Facebook was a blur. Mine in particular, because on account of my left-leaning friends, did not take that well.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'm trying to see, is there any, can we give him any benefit of any doubt or no? He's just an asshat still.
I think that there was no maliciousness coming from him in that bit, really. I just think, like I said, that it's inherently part of his thing.
He's definitely sexist.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And, as is the conservative base in Alberta, really.
Yeah, really, yeah.
That's a pity.
And a backpedaler, we're finding out, too, these days.
Yeah.
He just announced today that they're going to do all kinds of stimulus spending and borrowing.
Yeah, which is what
the whole
Notley had been
platform
doing
against the Liberals and the NDPs.
I know. Is that not shocking?
And
that was one that I
let's note, Notley was doing a far better job. Things were improving with Notley.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And without fucking butchering every social program in Alberta.
100%. I mean, presumably there are some oil companies that got $4.2 billion that are maybe happy about Kenny.
Yeah, I bet they are.
But just about everyone else is worse off.
Yeah. Let's get them rich people back happy first.
And a lot of the oil companies that took that $4.2 billion payout left anyways. Oh, thanks. See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because you see from companies like Suncor that their clear focus is going towards non-fossil fuels.
Yeah.
You'd think that there's all kinds of money to make with that. Why not?
Of course.
Full force go into that.
Yeah.
I
totally
we have a
agree.
pretty windy province.
It's true.
There's
and
plenty
sunny.
of wind to have.
Lots of sun too.
We could probably live clean.
Yeah. Wind
Are
and
there
solar.
going to be less birds? Yes.
Is that
No
a
one's getting
problem?
rid of their cats.
I don't know.
There's going to be less birds. What are you going to do?
Maybe we should put a cap on house cats.
Yeah.
And try to manage it
Yeah,
that way.
Isn't it in the billions? Joe brings it up pretty often.
Yeah.
It's in the billions. They kill a lot of cats.
Yeah,
My cats have probably killed themselves 1 million. Honestly.
It's in the billions for birds and the billions for small rodents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Where should we move on to some COVID-19 updates?
Yeah,
here?
my favorite thing lately that came out about the COVID-19. So Connor McDavid didn't play in the last Oilers game, and someone made a Corona McDavid meme that was like a drawing of him with a face mask on, and pretty dark.
Yeah.
And then someone else said Corona McDavid isn't as good as Connor McCovid, or Corona McCovid.
Yeah, they're both good.
Yeah,
Very creative. Very creative. Just today, it's been released. Italy, the entire country, is on lockdown.
Yeah, shut them down.
It's bad news bears in Italy.
Yeah, people are dying over there at a little bit faster clip. And
Yeah.
you know, the thing that I've heard as well is like old people are dying. Babies, kids don't seem to be getting it, which is true. But I mean, I don't know if we can get into, I guess, the podcast that just came out today from JRE. Michael Osterholm was works for the Center for Disease. It's not the Center for Disease Control, the CDC. It's the Center for Disease and Infectious.
Yeah,
CI
International
Infectious Disease Control or something. I don't know,
something like that. Yeah,
but it's slightly different.
but he's not an American based. It's an international thing that he does.
Right, but it is in like Minnesota or
Yeah,
something.
fair enough. That is where it is.
Yeah, but he was making me sick with talking about this is just the beginning. It's going to get a lot worse. The percentages of people that are going to be affected, it's not just going to be old people. It's going to be people in their 40s are going to be high risk. I'm 40 this year. And he said people that are fat are going to be at high risk. And I'm fat.
The
I'm
stats
like,
I saw
oh,
today,
no.
35 to 70% of Canadians are going to get this.
Yeah.
Uh,
I assumed I was going to get it, but that I would just fight it off easily. Like
well,
any
and that's
other.
it. 2 to 3% are dying. But it's just when you scale the numbers up to 70% of Canadians and
Even 2 to 3% is still a
that's
lot of
a lot
people.
of fucking people, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Am I going to die?
I mean, I hope not.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
How
How about toilet paper gate? Jesus Christ, did you get enough toilet paper before
don't
it
know.
stopped getting put on the shelves?
I didn't buy any.
No, me neither. I didn't know it was going to happen, obviously.
Yeah, I did try to buy some today. I went and got a couple groceries, and we've been kind of keeping. I wasn't gonna buy 15 packages,
Yeah.
but I was gonna buy like 1 or 2,
Yeah.
and none on the shelves
No,
in the
people
grocery
are wiping
stores.
with paper towels.
Yeah,
I bet there's a lot of clogged toilets in Edmonton right now.
there's a lot of paper towels still on the rack
Yeah.
at the grocery store. I
It's
noticed.
not a viable option, really. It does
They-
clog your toilet.
Yeah. They did have. I wonder what's worse between paper towel and those like flushable wet wipes.
Well, those are definitely worse.
Those
Yeah.
are also not good.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith on his podcast tells one of the funniest stories about using those wet wipes and clogging
Oh, really?
a pipe. I forget. It was on. I think it was on Smodcast, but good luck.
They just
finding
don't
it.
break down the same way that paper does.
Yeah,
They last, and they clog the shit out of everything.
yeah. You're not supposed to flush those, even though they say flushable. Isn't that such a dirty trick? Why?
They should be sued for that.
Yeah.
That is some incorrect statement.
I feel like whenever I get a roommate, I need to sit them down and be like, okay, don't ever flush those flushable things.
Are you a baby anyways? Why do you have flushable wipes?
Well, they are nice.
Are they? Do you
Yeah.
like a clean whistle, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, Joe talks about using like a bidet,
Yeah.
right? And those fancy toilet seats.
Yeah.
And it's true. If you got poop on your arm, you're not just going to grab a piece of toilet paper and wipe it off.
Can't see it. It's clean.
Yeah. No. So it is nice to have. I think you start with the like dry paper,
Yeah.
get the bulk of it there, and then just finish with a wipe, and then that goes into the garbage, not into the toilet. That's my advice to the world.
You end up with kind of a gross garbage can then.
Yeah, a little bit of a gross garbage can, but there's a bag in there. I don't know.
Yeah,
Change
enough.
it regularly. I think that's the way to do it. Well, actually, the real way to do it is wipe with dry toilet paper and then take a shower. Because shit in the morning,
That's the Joey Diaz method.
get a shit shower shave routine going,
Yeah.
and you'll be better off that way.
That's definitely the most comfortable feeling way.
Yeah,
You're feeling confident
Yeah.
after a shower.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you do have to take like a midday or a late day shit, then I think a flushable wipe is a nice option to finish with rather than just regular toilet paper.
You're definitely cleaner.
Yeah.
Yep. Another thing about this COVID-19 thing, there was a Quebecer that was found to be infected with it and had been traveling on the metro and on the bus
Is that right?
in Quebec, spreading that shit everywhere.
That's not good.
Another scary thing, like I got a few things about this. You can infect people days before you're getting any symptoms.
Yeah,
And
they said
they've been
4
still
days was
telling
kind
it
of
on the Alberta website right now that you have to show symptoms
Really?
to spread it. Like the
Oh.
Alberta website's so wrong.
I
compared
knew
to-
that was wrong. Like, yeah, way early on.
No,
they say the
government.
They're talking about the incubation period
Mm-hmm.
on this latest episode of JRE, where so it's 4 days essentially. So for the first 4 days, you can, and that's one thing they were saying too, is that the amount of bacteria in your mouth that they were testing, and then comparing that to tests during the incubation period with like SARS and other big diseases, and there's like 2,000 times the amount of bacteria in their mouth during the incubation period when you're not necessarily showing symptoms.
Yeah.
You might have just a little bit of a sore throat.
We keep seeing these memes about how all these other things are way worse than coronavirus.
Yeah.
And that we should basically not be worried about this one because of those are worse.
Yeah, like the common cold.
That's
and
not
the flu.
true. It's
Yeah.
10 times worse than the flu.
Yeah,
10
flu's
times.
not better.
10 whole times worse. And we're way more likely to catch this thing long run than the fucking seasonal flu, which has already pretty well worked its way out of the system.
Yeah, and it's just beginning now. 6 months from now is when he said the real like thick of it is going to be.
Yeah, like this is ground zero. This is the beginning.
I do get a real sense of like when I'm watching the news and stuff, it has a real sense of like a movie when it's just the start of a virus.
They're clearly rampant. It's ratings.
Yeah.
News is bullshit, kind of. But you have to have it because no one else is giving it, really.
Yeah. But this could also be in the just starting periods where it's not too bad yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're everyone's talking about it, but we're not seeing, what if this does lead to
That's what it kind of feels like.
70% of the world going away?
Yeah. I work at a place that delivers cleaning supplies. Well, I deliver the cleaning supplies, but I work at a place that manufactures cleaning supplies,
Right.
and they also supply paper products like toilet paper too. And it's a half empty warehouse right now.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I'm going to be getting some toilet paper from work tomorrow, but it's not the ones that fit my regular roll. Like, we got the giant fucking industrial ones still.
So people are ordering toilet paper at a higher clip for industrial purposes as well?
The YMCAs and all the, I
Wow.
probably shouldn't say what places I deliver, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's that important.
Okay.
Yeah, like everybody's been stocking up like crazy. I've been busy at work because,
That's crazy.
and there's other things too. Like there's foods, certain foods aren't on the shelf at the grocery store.
Yeah. Ketchup, I heard, was
The bread that's always cheapest at Superstore, the Old Mill or whatever, it's fucking been gone. That's obviously the stuff being shipped in. You know, you can still get obviously bread they make there, but
Yeah, I only buy fancy bread. So
no, fair enough. You're safe then.
I have
For now, your fancy bread's still there.
I have the $5 for a loaf.
Yeah. It's scary though. Like if the grocery stores were suddenly empty, how fucking dangerous that is for society.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. People get
I'm
rowdy
good for a
pretty
couple
quick.
days here.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have the space really to store a big stockpile. So
No, me neither. I have no bunker.
no, I wish I did.
All right.
So this other thing, finger lick gate. It's a quick video I want to show you
Okay.
to do with this.
Can we put a link to this in the description, and then but we'll play the audio of it here on
Yeah,
like we
well,
did for
For
Kenny.
sure. Do you want to just keep it going live?
Sure.
And you can kind of watch with me here. Okay, I'm going to play it.
Today, start working on not touching your face because one main way viruses spread is when you touch your own mouth, nose, or eyes.
That's funny.
I'm calling it finger lick gate.
Was she flipping a page there? Was that what she was doing?
Yeah.
I am bad for that. I touch my face all the
Oh,
time.
constantly.
Yeah.
I've probably touched my face 13 million times since you got here.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to touch my face, and I like to touch my dick.
Yeah.
And
When I have facial hair and it gets to a certain length too, I can't not touch it.
oh yeah,
I fuck with my whole face.
it helps you. It helps you think. Touching your facial
Yeah.
hair, it's good for pondering.
Well, how about the deep thinker statue?
Yeah.
He's stroking his
Of course.
chin there.
Of course.
That's a classic thing.
I don't know.
Bad news, guys. Keep it together. Keep your stick on the ice.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all going to get COVID.
We'll keep you updated here as to how the COVID progresses, at least in our perception of it.
I don't have any other news. There is
Okay.
no other news right now.
Well, let's go forward then. Some Rogan reporting.
Okay.
We need a little.
Totally. We should work on some sound effects for
News
season 3, maybe.
No, we need some sound effects.
We need a board. One of
Some-
them sound effect boards.
segment intros.
Yeah.
So 1436, Adam Curry. That was a great episode.
Yeah.
The Podfather,
The real Podfather.
the actual legit
I've been
Podfather.
calling Red Band that for the last half a year.
He's a Podfather in another way. He
Yeah.
didn't start podcasting, but this guy basically made the first podcast. Didn't coin the term though, and he tells the story of how the term kind of came to be,
Yeah.
and what his role was in first recording and introducing podcasts to the world.
Yeah.
And fascinating story.
From a nuts and bolts perspective, like down to the nitty gritty,
Yeah.
made it possible kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's still recording a podcast now.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. I loved hearing about his podcast and his motto, sort of with how he puts it out there. And he's not doing advertising. He's got a real big problem with advertisers. And
Yeah.
you know, it sounds like he's had some bad experiences.
Yeah. He
And-
really is hard on the fucking MeUndies of the world.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
hey man, everyone's making some good money off that
Yeah.
MeUndies.
Yeah.
I'll take a MeUndies sponsorship
too.
in a heartbeat. You know?
And but he's also like super hard in the paint against being tracked by any like Google.
That
or,
kind of made me nervous.
yeah.
He mentioned one in particular, Credit Karma. I use that fucking thing to
Do you?
watch my credit, and to hear him tell how inaccurate it is and how it's really just a trap to spy on me.
So they can get your information about what purchases
they've
you're
been
making.
getting my information
Yeah.
for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah, and how they kind of train you to be a good worker and a good
Yeah.
a good credit person by
Yeah.
saying pay your bills on time and stuff. Which I mean, it's good habits to be in.
I mean,
too.
it's good because it makes your life more efficient and better. But
Yeah. Yeah, I've had points in my life where my bills have gotten out of control, and it's like
Mhm.
once you don't pay them for 3 months, then it's a kind of insurmountable obstacle. Like,
yeah, it becomes
gotta-
a $3,000 thing.
yeah,
it's
and you're like,
oh,
fuck.
what?
Yeah, you really got to stay on top of them so that they don't, you know,
Yeah,
they don't become out of control. Learn how to budget your life. Learn how to be responsible with money. I think that's a good skill to have.
I agree. Yeah. He was an MTV host,
Yeah.
an early one back in the day.
Yeah.
Back when it used to play music videos. Is that what he said, or did he come in after?
No, they did some music videos, but it wasn't all music videos. He would
Yeah.
talk, but he would, you know, he was saying people would request music videos from him, so he was definitely playing music videos.
We grew up with much music here in Canada.
Yeah.
I don't think I even saw MTV until like satellite came out, satellite TV.
Yeah, I loved much music and like early, you know, 90s music videos when music videos were just
Some
becoming
George
a thing.
Stroumboulopoulos back in the day. I think I said his name right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would record it on VHS and then like kind of fast forward to get to the songs that I
Yeah.
really liked.
Oh yeah, you'd watch like fucking hours of that shit to hear one song.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how do you think podcasting has changed the world? And
Well,
that's
cer-
directly relatable to him, of course.
yeah. Certainly it's given people another avenue for education. I think that's been a big one. I've learned so much from
Oh, yeah.
listening to podcasts that I just wouldn't have been exposed to elsewise.
Yeah.
It's given people an outlet, you know, 900,000 podcasts out there. So
Yeah.
it's given people an outlet to
A
be
voice.
creative and to express themselves and to share information. I think that's probably the two big benefits of podcasting.
Yeah.
But then also the negative effects of podcasting, which was, I don't know if it was in the Adam Curry version, but they were talking about how people don't have time to themselves to think anymore.
Mhm.
You know, you fill up all of your dead space essentially with input and entertainment, and you know, people aren't just taking. I think it was the next episode of Stephen Dubner, and they were talking about writers going and taking a walk and just walking with your thoughts for an hour, where you're not like focused on listening and paying attention to something. You're just thinking and thinking through the, you know, especially if you're working on writing or doing something creative, that can give you some of your best breakthroughs. That's been a long known writer's trick, that they
Yeah.
go for walks and they walk and they think about their
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, that's true. It's in Stephen King always walks too, and I don't know if you know, he was hit by a van in
Absolutely.
1998
Yeah.
doing just such a walk,
Absolutely.
and it's incorporated into not only into his autobiography called On Writing, which is a great read,
Yeah.
but
Misery.
also it shows up in the Dark Tower series.
Oh, does it?
He writes himself into the later books there.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I haven't read all those, but I heard good things.
They're pretty fucking cool.
I just finished the last episode of The Outsider today.
Oh, isn't it fucking badass?
So good. Yeah.
Just the best show like in the longest time.
Yeah, pretty good. my girlfriend, I watched the first one with my girlfriend, and she hated it. She's like, "There's no comic relief because it is a tense."
Yeah, it's supposed to be, bro. It's
yeah,
Stephen King.
the whole thing is tension. There's there's no parts where you're like, oh, no chuckles in that series. So if you can't handle that like hour of tension per episode, maybe it's not the show for you. But for me, I thought it was really, really well made. Great acting, great writing.
Yeah.
Characters are very like defined.
There's no blatant chuckles, but there's some quirks and oddities. Like, spoiler alert: there's a girl named Holly, and she's pretty neat, right? Like, I'm not going to describe her because that will ruin it. But
okay,
but also and a love interest of hers in the show too also has some quirks to him. That's kind of
I'm not really
there's
chuckling
no
at
laughs.
either.
No
of
one's
them,
laughing. It's a fucking intense show, man.
Yeah,
you're on the edge of your seat. Like I was.
Yeah.
Good
so
shit.
Thanks, Joe, for recommending that one.
Totally. Actually, I'd have to say I paralleled Joe with that one. I was watching it just as he was talking about it. I was on like episode 2 when he started talking about it.
I just, in the last week since I heard about it, I was like, oh, I'll check that out. I got Crave.
And that's interesting. I kind of find that a lot, that I parallel with Joe. That's probably because I've been listening to Joe Rogan for fucking almost 10 years now. I'm into the same shit. So we get into things at the same time.
Yeah. Crave and Netflix are going to recommend things to us
right.
that they probably also recommend to him since we have similar interests.
Yeah. And it helps that I've watched every one of his specials on Netflix.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
That makes sense.
That's not hurting.
Yeah.
All right. So 1437 with Stephen Dubner. He's the Freakonomics guy. And I thought it was really interesting that he was interviewing Joe kind of most of the podcast.
Yeah, totally.
He was
right?
like, hey, so tell me your thoughts on what if we do this as a society? And then Joe would kind of answer. And, part of me was like, did this guy not prepare and now he's just shifting the focus? But I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
I think, like Joe said, he's a very curious guy. And you guys ever listen to Freakonomics?
I don't, but obviously this guy's an interviewer.
Yeah.
Because he shifted into, like, he was the host of the show. Totally.
Yeah. But he's very good at, like, breaking down, these are the two different sides of this issue. And here's, ways that both sides might affect the, current outcomes.
Yeah.
And so I think that, and one thing that he said, economists are really good about thinking about what are all the possible outcomes from making a decision. And then with those outcomes, how will that affect our society or how will that affect business or how will that affect the economy? And I think that is true. And so it is interesting to get economists' take on politics. I think it's important to have them. And another thing is that there are Democratic economists and Republican economists, and it's interesting that they have to still kind of fit their party, but both of them are economists and can have kind of valid things to say.
Yeah, totally. I also think that he just really values Joe's opinion, and I think that's kind of the flavor of almost the whole world these days. Joe's opinion does matter. It does matter. He said he might vote for Bernie Sanders, and a lot of people shifted their opinions because of that. Yeah. Or at the very least got a lot of people screaming and talking about it,
I don't know if Bernie's going to make the nomination. It seems like it's going to be Biden.
Oh man, so terrible.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's terrible or not. I don't know that much deeply into it, but
yeah, like on one I think Bernie would be better for the world. But I think that Biden is better than Trump, and Biden might have a better chance.
I mean, at least it gets it out of the Republican party.
But the one of the things it was a meme I think that I read earlier is that Democrats need to get away from centrists, because if you look at the centrists that have in the the last elections, they've all been beaten by Republicans.
Yeah,
but Barack Obama, who ran on more of a progressive campaign, he won his, with hope and change.
Yeah.
And so I think Bernie could, in that vein, beat Trump. I really do think he could. Yeah. I wish he was 10 years younger and had
more of an opposite to counter the far right situation that we have.
But the Democrats worry that they're not going to sway enough of the center people. That's why they want to get someone like Biden in there, because they feel like they'll be able to sway more of the Trump voters with that. and that the people that are on the far left are going to vote Democrat anyways.
Yeah.
But that strategy sure didn't work with Hillary.
No.
So I don't know.
I've seen a few memes about how the new presidential possibilities are all these old ass white men, like a real progressive America. We've come a long way.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Although Bernie is very different
He
from
is.
the other candidates. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a crusader in his youth. He fought for what he believed in.
He's been very consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's always talking about not taking the money, which I love.
Yeah, me too.
So
Well, should we move on into 248?
let's do it.
What is that noise?
Something's playing somewhere. Is it on your computer?
My God.
Technical difficulty.
Big problems here in Macland, fucking MacBook Pros. Never let it be said that MacBooks can't get viruses, because
Yeah, that's what I always heard.
I got some weird shit going on, and I got to take my computer in and get them to wipe off this bullshit, search mine and whatever other things are happening.
Do you do
But-
risky things with your computer?
I never thought I did. I downloaded Popcorn Time once, which was like a movie streaming app.
That's risky.
Um,
My daughter downloads shit like that.
Yeah,
It
I
fucks
think-
my computer up all the time.
I think that's what happened. I think that was the beginning of the end, and then it's just slowly been getting kind of worse and worse. And yeah, like the only things open on my computer are GarageBand and Finder, and then all of a sudden Chrome just opened itself and started playing whatever the fuck that video was. We didn't even see it. It was in the background.
Almost as a callback to Adam Curry, who does not touch Google products whatsoever anymore.
I might be deleting Chrome later, but I do need to have. Well, I guess I have Firefox as well.
What if you're on Gmail though? Like me, like fucking almost everybody these days.
Yeah, I do use Gmail regularly.
That's how you're gonna untether yourself from Gmail. It's tough.
Oh well, I guess
I guess we're part of it.
Yeah. All right.
It's a weird time to start running from the fucking technology anyway.
UFC 248.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Should we you want to start from the top or the bottom?
Let's start from the bottom. I think that's
Okay.
that's better. We'll work our way towards.
So it opened up with
Disaster.
Cowboy and who the fuck did he fight? Oh,
Max Griffin.
Max Griffin.
Yeah. So went to a decision.
Mhm.
A lot of decisions. 4 of the 5 fights in the main card decisions tonight.
Yeah.
Couple of mixed choices as well, which
Mhm.
I wasn't too mad at. There were some very close fights. This one, in fact, was a split decision.
Yeah.
And it was a very close fight. I don't know. I see it giving it to Oliveira. though.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with it.
Yeah.
Definitely not mad at it.
And Neil Magny with Jinglang Li.
Li Jing
Li Jinglang?
Jing Liang, I think.
Jing Yang? Jinglang?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. But you're supposed to, but his first name is not Li. It's Jinglang.
But you say it. Like
But
you say the
it-
last name first.
Last name first.
Which,
Li
I mean,
Jinglang.
you asked me, that makes it the first name, but whatever.
All right. Versus Neil Magny. That was definitely a very dominant performance from Magny.
Yeah.
I would like to see the scorecards there. I think there was at least one 10-8 round in that in that fight.
It's a good fight.
The round 2, I think, was a 10-8 round.
Magny's been off 16 months too, and he came back like a fucking Hellcat.
Yeah. He was a little bit offended there, saying that like the odds makers were making him so
right.
low.
He was a top 5 like 16 months ago, was it?
Yeah.
Is that when he lost his rank?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a fall. That's a long
And
fall.
He's got a giant list of people, of tough guys.
Oh, isn't
Carlos
that the lightweight
Condit.
division?
Yeah.
Or is it welterweight? I think that's welterweight.
He fought Condit with welterweight.
Yeah.
right?
So yeah, they're welterweights.
Yeah.
But even that division's pretty stacked up too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lightweight, though, speaking of, we had Beneil Dariush versus Jakar Close, the only KO of the main card, which was pretty awesome fight, man.
Just a good old fat. Well, the first round was like a jiu-jitsu masterclass by Dariush.
Dariush just hanging on to the back while Close just stood against the cage, leaned on the cage, fought off choke after choke attempt.
Yep.
And I was impressive to see how well he was fighting off those rear nakeds.
Yep.
There was a couple times it looked like Dariush had it sunk in there pretty tight, and Close managed to get get his fingers in there, get his head turned, and fought it off. And then in the second round, Close had nearly knocked out Dariush.
Yeah,
he hit him
Dariush's legs were leaden after that first round.
Yeah, of course, he wasted the energy in his legs, and then he got lit up by a few good punches, and it looked like Close was going to finish it. But then Dariush just turned it on, and in maybe 6 seconds, he had landed 3 or 4.
It was like Snatch style. You remember Snatch, how Brad Pitt gets knocked the fuck down and almost out at the end of the movie, and he bounces back up, and
totally.
It's boom.
Yeah,
oh,
and then
beautiful.
Just, right on the button, knocked out Close at the a minute left in the round, I think it was.
I strongly recommend going and checking that clip out, guys.
Yeah,
because that was a solid knockout.
Do that. And then the co-main event of the evening, women's strawweight, Weili Zhang versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah, and being hailed as the greatest women's fight of all time.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty fucking good.
Shocking, the damage done to Joanna's face.
Who, Megamind?
Yeah. She does
I
look
can't
like
take credit.
Megamind.
Brendan Schaub said that. It's so fucking funny. Yeah, man. She got... I mean, what happened to her head?
Everything exploded
Have you ever seen
inside
that happen
it?
before in a fight?
It's called a hematoma.
Yeah, but...
all the blood just went into one spot from inflammation.
But then Weili punched that hematoma around until it was everywhere on her fucking
I know.
head.
Yeah, her eyes
Holy
looked like they
shit.
were sunken back in, and her nose looked like tiny.
I've seen some
crooked.
very mean memes about that one. There's some funny ones. There's one involving the Goonies fella.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Hey, you guys.
Oh, I felt bad for her, though. She was embarrassed of it.
I
and
know.
Joe
She's
told her,
like,
don't worry about it. You look great.
Yeah, she was like wrapping her flag around it to kind of hide it. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Fucking, she has nothing to be embarrassed about. She
No.
put on an amazing 600 some strikes, they were saying, in that fight.
She outstruck Weili by 30 strikes.
Yeah.
Some people say she should have won that
like
fight.
330 to 300, but she did get damaged more.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed. So I'm not mad. And at the end, it was Weili Zhang who was putting it on Joanna.
Yeah.
More than...
For me, I don't want to see them two fight anyone else but each other again.
Yeah?
Honestly. I think that Joanna definitely deserves a rematch there.
Yeah. I wonder how the question would be is how would she go into that differently? What adjustments could she make? Because she went in pretty much fighting at the top of her game, it seemed like.
I think we might have seen the best performance from Joanna.
Yeah.
Given the adversity she was facing.
Totally.
Like, she's definitely dominated other fighters way more in her past, but
she's kind of been known as more of a like volume striker, less, she probably throws everything at 70, 80%.
Yeah.
And then obviously Zhang has the power.
But I
and
think Joanna was throwing some hundreds tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She was
some of the
hard.
Yeah, she was mixing it up. But she definitely wasn't throwing overall. If there was a measurement where you could measure the power of every strike, Zhang was throwing harder strikes for sure.
Yeah. She's got And Joanna was talking about how she doesn't have the technique. She definitely has the technique.
Pretty good.
She was throwing sharp.
Yeah.
Fucking nice hits, man.
Yeah.
Chun-Li legs too, eh?
Yeah.
She had some thicky legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Great fight. One of the best I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
And then into the main event, which by stark contrast, Yoel Romero versus Israel Adesanya. First round, Yoel threw 4 strikes and Adesanya threw 3 strikes.
They stood in front of each other for 3 minutes.
Yeah, the very first couple minutes of the round, I don't think Romero took a step. He just stood and kind of like pivoted from side to side. It was shocking. Shockingly slow. And then in the next round, it picked up a little bit. It was like 7 strikes for Adesanya to like 5 strikes for Romero.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like 12-4, 12-4, 10-3, something like that.
Real clearly Adesanya outstrike, but it's so hard to call it outstriking when there's 10 strikes in a round.
Yeah.
After watching a 600 strike fight. That's crazy.
And I learned the word timidity.
Timidity.
So the refs can take away a point for timidity.
God, that was my biggest takeaway from this fight was fucking Mergliotta.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking. He gave them a little pep talk going into
Come on,
the fourth
boys,
round.
people are paying to see this fight.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, you got to give the judges something to score, I think was the line he
I
said.
mean, it's true, but
And then they did kind of turn up the heat a little bit in that fourth round. But
then Mergliotta was kind of playing coach the whole rest of the fight. You kept hearing him say, "Come on, guys. Guys. Come on, guys."
That was weird.
Hey, man, just ref the fight.
I know, but also I kind of do appreciate him pushing it when the action is just non-existent.
Yeah.
And then Romero afterwards is like complaining. He's like, "Oh, he run the whole time. He should be fight. People pay for a fight, but he just run around."
Romero plays possum for the first fucking 24 minutes of the fight.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he wants to play slug him, rock him in the last minute. Yeah, clearly that's your plan, fucking Herc. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, I agree that, you can't fight him by standing in front of Romero. You have to move and stick and jab. And, Adesanya is a counter puncher, and sometimes you get two kind of counter punchers in a fight, and it does end up being kind of a boring fight. Yeah. But it was on Romero to take it to Adesanya. I mean, I kind of believe in that too.
I agree. And look at Adesanya. His waist is the size of Romero's leg.
Yeah. Yeah, of course he's going to run away when he's getting
He's got to be safe.
Hit.
Yeah. There's only one way to win against a dude that big when you're that small. You got to play fight. You got to you got to fight smart.
Yeah.
Agreed. And Adesanya's got a similar puzzle in Paulo Costa, except for Paulo Costa is not going to do that possum shit. He's going to come at him like a missile.
Yeah. So then, which gives Adesanya the opportunity to counterpunch.
To use what he does.
And kick. And if, he's so good at keeping the range with his kicks. So we'll see if that is a big factor in the Costa fight.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that one, though, for sure.
Yeah. This one was disappointing.
It was. I was excited for this one. I thought it was going to be a finish in the third, fourth round for one of them. I thought, Adesanya would have more volume than Romero, but I didn't expect it to be what it was.
No. I was disappointed in both, but I'm sickened by Romero's performance. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm less of a fan of Romero after that one.
Agreed. Me too.
Yeah.
So that was UFC 248. Good times.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? Should we get into my Joe joke that I procured?
Let's do it.
Gone. Let's see here. All right, Shane. 2 hunters in deer camp woke up in the middle of the night. "Look at the stars. What a splendor," said one hunter. "Yeah, but what do you think happened to our tent?" said the other. That's the joke.
What did happen?
I don't know. It's gone.
Am I supposed to know what happened?
No.
Is it supposed to be obvious?
Someone stole it, I think.
Okay. It's a thinker.
Or it was dissolved.
Yeah.
Maybe a bear ate it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, something happened.
Yeah.
Depends what forest you're in. If you're in that Blair Witch forest, you'd snatch that shit and you're about to get fucked up.
Alrighty. We'll end it there then.
Go rate our shit. Go on Spotify, go on iTunes, give us nice ratings.
Yeah, rate and review. 5 stars, please. Please and thank you.
And write a comment.
That's
a
how
big
you
deal
can
too.
help. That's how you can help the show. We don't need your money. We just need listens, and other people will give us money.
Yeah.
But once we start advertising, then also buy the stuff that we're selling.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that'll
that seems
good.
fair.
Yeah. But until then, we're having fun talking to you guys. Please reach out to us on social media, and thank you so much for listening. It's been a pleasure.
Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
Hey there, Joe Rogan, super fan. This podcast is for you, my man. or woman, or non-binary. Our recaps will be legendary. The Rogan Report Podcast. Come on, you'll have a blast at the Rogan Report Podcast.